Any idea what this thing is? Kind of interesting looking. It's aluminum. Looks kind of like a jawbone of some sort, but it is actually a key part to a project that I'm going to be working on today, and I'll give you a few moments to try to figure it out before I spill the beans. But what it has to do with is how we kind of dial in a good cell signal when we get set up. You know, we arrive at a location like this out boondocking, because we're always on the move and we always have to try to find the best signal once we get set up at a place. You know, we pick out a nice spot and we get the rig set up, and usually the next thing is to try to break out our phone. And this is a Verizon phone. You know, fire it up and see what kind of signal I get. Hopefully it's a decent 4G LTE signal. It's strong, and you know, I can do a speed test and see what kind of internet data connectivity I'm getting. Maybe I don't have a good signal at all, so I might fire up my WeBoost signal booster, see if that improves my signal. Now, another thing that I have here is a different device, and this is a mobile router. It's an inexpensive one from a GLI net, and it has a SIM card in it from a different carrier. So this is I think I got a T-Mobile SIM card in here. So I'll also connect to this and see what kind of signal I'm getting here. It's got some antennas that, you know, they're somewhat directional. You can kind of point them around, try to dial in a decent signal. But what I've been wanting to do is actually connect these to a different antenna. If you end up getting a device like this, or maybe it's a mobile hotspot, try to get one that actually has antennas that you can remove. It allows me then to connect an external antenna to this router, and that external antenna could be one of those flat panel ones that just have the suction cups on it. Stick it to your windshield or window in the direction of, you know, where you think the tower is, or it can be another directional antenna that you could maybe mount on the roof, and you just kind of dial it in and keep checking your data signal to see, you know, which direction gives you the best result. Now that leads me to this project. When we first got this RV, it had a satellite dish mounted on the roof. The dish itself was kind of bulky. I removed the dish but left the mounting components because it has a cool mechanism inside the coach where I can actually raise and lower it and be able to rotate it and see what direction the satellite dish is pointing. So what I hope to do today is take this antenna, which is a MiMo antenna, so it's multiple in, multiple out. It has two antennas in it actually. One points in the 45-degree direction this way, kind of has a big coverage area, and the other one kind of has a 45-degree reception angle on this side. So you kind of point it in the general direction, and hopefully, you know, you can improve your signal using an antenna like this. But I want to be able to mount this on the roof. I came up with this idea to reuse the satellite dish components, and I took apart the dish part itself. You can see here that this is curved. So this is actually where the dish part sat, and it was mounted to the back here. I could put it back together if I wanted to. This actually will work pretty good for this, like that. So my plan is to kind of use what I have on hand, some materials, some tools, to try to make some sort of a mount using this and the antenna, and attach this back to the satellite dish mount and see if that works. Maybe this will give you some ideas of something you can do on your own, but you know, I want to be able to get to a location and just raise and lower things, dial it in without having to leave the coach. So that's the plan. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we're going to mount this antenna to this bracket from the old satellite dish. And on the back of the antenna here, I got a bunch of mounting holes that are threaded, And it also comes with some hardware, some screws and bolts and stuff that are part of this pole mounting kit, including this piece here that I would basically mount this. So I'm not going to use any of this stuff. I may use some of the screws. I can't really mount this directly because none of the holes here, there's no mounting surface. So what I'm going to do is I found this this piece of plexiglass that I had from another project, and it's about the right size. I can go ahead and mount the plexiglass to the back here. From there I can then mount the plexiglass to this bracket. So that's kind of the plan. Looks pretty square. Close enough. There we go. Lots of holes. Alright, now I'm going to use these zip ties to hold down this bracket here. Just going to put these through the holes. Kind of the best solution I come up with for now. There's not a lot of room to put any additional screws or other hardware there, so that I just anchor it down like this. I got the cables coming out the bottom here, and should be able to snug these right up. This antenna is very light, so it should be fine. Let's go. Alright, that should work out just fine. Alright, tighten these up real good. Gotta love those zip ties. Look at this, thing's pretty solid. Cut them nice and flush. Alright. Alright, so this is looking pretty good. It's pretty solid. I don't think it's gonna blow away or anything. And no, just gotta take it up on the roof, and we'll get it mounted to the old satellite dish mount. Let's go. right, well it's pretty windy up here. I've been working on the not windy side of the RV, but up here on top it's pretty windy. So I had to kind of bang on this with a hammer to get it off. So I hope it's not too difficult to get back on. All right, let's see if I can get it on. Oh, look at that, it slides on nicely. I like it. Same on the other side. Right there. Let's go on right now. I guess I would strip it out if I. Now we need to run the cable through this box. I already created this gland here to run it through here, and I'm gonna just loop it up, just have a little bit of extra here in this box, and then run it down here. And I have an access point here that goes into the front cap of the RV, and it's just right on the top of that electronics cabinet where the router is. This does rotate, and I want to have enough cable so that there's enough when this thing goes around here in circles. I'll just have to be diligent about not cranking it too many times. Well, I was able to get all the cabling done up on the roof of the RV and got it fished through that hole into this front cap and the equipment area up here. And got everything put back together and, you know, tidied up nicely. But it's been a couple days now, and I've actually been able to mess around with it a little bit and actually improve the signal on my mobile router. So let me show you how that works. The satellite dish controls are pretty easy. There's one control here where I can crank it up and down. So I'll start by cranking it up, and I figured out like 15 cranks is going to get it to vertical. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that should be in a good vertical position. It's still facing back. So what I'll do is unlock this here, and then I can rotate it to point in the direction of my cell tower. So in this case, I'm going to maybe point it that way. It's got a little arrow here that I can just position it right there. And when I want to keep it in that spot, I lock it down. So at that point, it's not going to get blown around by the wind or something. So yeah, it works pretty well. You know, when I'm done, I want to store it. I just kind of do the reverse, unlock it, position this back, lock it again, and then I'll lower it in this counterclockwise direction. So you'll feel it when it gets tight. It's all the way at the bottom. All right, there we go. And now I'm ready to travel again. It's stored. I look forward to hitting new boondocking sites and being able to adjust my my signal and antenna without having to leave the coach. So maybe there's another way to repurpose this that I haven't thought of. If you've done something different, please share what you've done in the comments so we can all just share ideas with each other. And if you want to do something similar to this, I'll leave links to the stuff that I use for this in the video description. So take care, and I'll see you in the next one.